All right, folks, welcome. We're live. We're doing a bit of a mukbang today. So we're eating and we're talking about ETFs. Now, I'm really here to answer more of the questions. Let's see. All right, what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to show my Wang. JK. Hold on. I got to show up the live chat real quick. Oh, that's not the right one though. So we're going to talk about a few different ETFs. We're going to go over a list real quick. Kind of a list compiled. So we're going to talk about some of the core popular ETFs that one can have in their portfolio. These are safe, they're foundational picks, and honestly, they're just as good as any other niche ETF. While I'm talking about them, I am going to put the ETF that I'm discussing in the chat itself. So that way, not only can you guys hear me say it, you guys can see me chat it. That sort of thing. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. So the first one we're going to talk about is oh, hold on. Maybe that's not it. Hold on. So the first one we want to talk about, VOO, is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. So it does a really good job of tracking the S&P 500. It contains all the 500 companies that Standards and Poor have indexed, so it does a really good job. I'm a big fan of it. By the way, we're eating some burgers real quick. Making sure these are pretty cooked. It's pretty cooked to me. Yeah, that looks pretty cooked. But overall, huge fan of the VOO. It's probably one of the more solid ETFs to have in your portfolio overall. One moment. It's a good cheeseburger. Ooh. All right, let's keep going. Sorry. So this is a mukbang. Not only am I talking about great ETFs, I'm also eating a great burger. Fantastic burger. Really well cooked. I love the Ninja Sizzle, man. It's as simple as putting avocado oil on that bad boy, and you're ready to roll. So we also have VT, which is Vanguard Total World Stock ETF. This is a good one, and it's not talked about enough on YouTube. This is one that Strongman talked about the first time I watched him. He's the one who got me into Vanguard Total World Index, and I have it in my portfolio for sure. It gives you it basically diversifies you across the globe. It has over 9,000 different holdings in it. It's insane. I think it has like 5,000 different U.S. companies and then 4,000 international. It's a hell of a list. I will say I'm a huge fan of international stock ETFs because it gives me the exposure to a lot of different international companies out there I may not normally get exposure to. So those ETFs give me the access that I need. So I'm very grateful that exchange traded funds exist. Sincerely grateful for them. Solid. Mm-mm-mm. So delicious. Mm. It's a good burger, you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really hungry. So I was like, I'm gonna do a mukbang episode where I talk about the great ETFs I own. Um, I think everybody should own Vanguard Total World Index, though. It should be I mean, this is my opinion, not financial advice, but I would hope that everybody has Vanguard Total World Index. That's the hope. Mm. Take a look here. So another one that I like to hold on to, I have at least one share of this one. Actually, I got 2 shares of this one. This one is the SCHD Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity ETF. Like I said, I'm a multi ETF man. I have so many different ETFs in my portfolio. That's wild, man. I gotta start showing these on the screen. Hold on. I'm gonna start showing these on the screen. One moment. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I have to turn monetization on every single time. That's okay though. It's worth it. 1, nothing wrong with me. 2, nothing wrong with me. 3. Now let me display some of these up here real quick. So we're talking about SHUDA, SCHD, Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. It's one of the better ones, if we're going to be honest. I mean, you get a pretty good index of dividend growers and dividend showers. But they have good, decent yields for the most part. But it's more of a dividend. It is fairly, well, they don't really focus on yield in Shida, but there's definitely a lot of dividend growth. So a lot of the companies they have in there have proven track records of growing their dividends over time. So it's a big deal, I think, to have that. My personal opinion, of course. All right, Schwab. Gotta give me that Schwab, baby. See, yeah, this is the one I was talking about. Dividends all day long and my juicy man thong. All right, that's how I roll. Then we got VTI, which is basically the entire U.S. stock market. That's a lot of diversification right there. You can own the entirety of the U.S. market, which is pretty wild, man. There's a lot of different companies out there. Mind you, not all the companies are good ones. So it is something to keep in mind. Mm-mm-mm. But I think the biggest key point to emphasize is just keep diversifying, man. It's the way to roll. You know, it's bad. I mean, this is pure VTI is the purest exposure that you can get to the overall U.S. stock market. It's crazy. It is wild. Love these mukbangs. Hmm. But yeah, we're getting the good stuff, man. We're getting through it. But yeah, VTI, man, one of the better ones. Get pure exposure to the entire U.S. market. Insane. QQQ, this is the NASDAQ 100. This isn't bad, but it's not the level of diversification I feel comfortable with. But I do have a QQQ index ETF in my portfolio. I am, like I said, I want to be diversified. I want to have every single portfolio theory in my portfolio. And to do that, you could use ETFs. I get derivative income through covered call ETFs, for example. I get pretty good dividend income from ETFs that focus on really good dividend paying companies that grow their dividends. I'm all about it, man. I'm all about that life. All right. I mean, with these ETFs I'm talking about, you can create a good portfolio just buying one share of each of these, right? It's beautiful. There's another core popular ETF you can add. Talk to a financial advisor, by the way. Always best to talk to a financial advisor. Smartest thing you could do. So this one's DIA, Spider Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF. Pretty decent, right? I like this one. It's solid. Mm. Oh, it's still kind of cold in the center. It's still hot. Oh man, hot pockets. Mm. So this ETF covers the Dow Jones, basically, if I remember right. Dow Jones consists of just 30 companies, man. 30 crazy good companies. Like, they're really good at choosing the best of the best. Like I said, I'm a diversification kind of guy. So I need to be all kinds of spread out. Yeah. Always spreading my wings, always spreading my legs. You know, got to do what I got to do. Oh. Here we go. So those are the core popular ETFs. Now let's go to the high dividend covered call ETFs for a moment. It was great. I have all these in my portfolio as well. Let's keep going. Let's take a look at JEPI, JEPI, JP Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF. This is one I like to keep in my portfolio. I like the dividends that it produces. It's actively managed. So I'm not the biggest fan of actively managed ones. There should be like a fairly consistent strategy, and it seems like they implement a consistent strategy by the looks of it. It's one of those things, man. All right, let's take a closer look. But yeah, JEPI gives me pretty good dividend payouts. In fact, while I'm looking at these, I might as well take a look at the dividend payouts. I mean, seriously, getting started in investing is very simple. It starts just by buying at least one share of some sort of ETF, usually. And that's the easiest way to get diversification, in my opinion. I mean, you could still get diversified. You could buy one share of individual stocks that you want to buy and be good from there. Oh, wow. Bitcoin, my click coin, is going up. Bitcoin's garbage, by the way, but I'm going to sell $20 worth of it. Yeah. It's crazy that Bitcoin has a $2.12 trillion market cap. That blows my mind. That seriously blows my mind, like, in a lot of ways. Shouldn't be possible, but somehow it is. Somehow it is. All right. So then we got the JEPQ, which is the JP Morgan NASDAQ Equity Premium Income. This is a decent one. This one does a covered call strategy against the NASDAQ primarily, if I remember right. These are great. I mean, covered call strategies are fun because if you write a call contract with a short-term expiration date, you're really playing the role of the casino. Because in the short term, it's very tough to predict if markets are going to go up rapidly or down rapidly. But it's very near impossible to predict in the short term. So writing the covered call contracts and having the shares that you own as the collateral is real smart, because then you're not like totally screwing yourself in the end. Especially if you do a buy right strategy, where you buy the underlying asset and then write the covered call contract. Well, sorry, write the call contract is what I should say. And that's how you do a covered call. But no, not financial advice, just some basic education there. Then we got the QY LD. It's another solid one. I love the QYLD. It's another covered call ETF that I get kind of a bone cone over. I bone cone over it a little bit. Yeah, nobody's viewing this particular episode. This is crazy. It's okay. You can't win them all. Overall, we have, but yeah, the QYLD, solid one. It's basically the Global X NASDAQ 100 cover call ETF. So it's basically cover call, just call, they buy the companies in the NASDAQ 100, and then they write call options and use those as collateral. Use the shares as collateral. I love cover call ETFs, man. The yield, the derivative income you can get from those is fantastic. But I only keep the growth though overall is pretty glim. Is pretty glim overall. So I do like to make sure that when I get into cover call ETFs, I only make sure that they take up about 10% of my portfolio, maybe 15%. If I'm feeling a little feisty, but the rest of my portfolio is legitimately just buy, hold, make sure they're actual assets. But I do love derivative income, so my portfolio definitely needed to have room for covered call ETFs without a doubt. Now the RYLD is a Global X Russell 2000 covered call ETF. This is another one of my personal faves. I love the Russell 2000, and yeah, it's a solid one. Just another way to get some extra income from a covered call strategy. I mean, I will admit the only downside to these ETFs is the what do you call it? The oh my god, I can't think. I can't speak. There's a certain term. Oh my god, that term is eluding me so hard right now. Expense ratio. Duh. That's the word I'm thinking of. Yeah, so they do tend to have a little bit of a higher expense ratio, but in the end, it's kind of worth it because you get really good payouts and they're doing all the heavy lifting. So it's like you're kind of hiring them to do the covered call strategy for you, and they're doing 100% covered calls. So when I say 100% covered calls, I mean they're using 100% of the holdings that they have as collateral against the call contract they write. So really cool in the end. Really flipping cool. That's all I gotta say. If I could show my dong to the world. All right, and then there's the XYLD. And that is the Global X S&P 500 cover call ETF. It's another solid one. So basically, same diff as the other ones. This is just the S&P 500 where they buy the S&P 500. I think they actually just buy an S&P 500 ETF for the most part. Then they use that as collateral, and they use that specific ETF as the collateral, 100% of it, and then write the call contract. Now, there's one thing I did forget to mention about all these. A lot of these covered call ones, they actually when they create the call contract, it expires after 1 month, and it is typically, the strike price is typically on the money. And what that means is, for example, let's say the S&P 500 was $100. That's not true, but let's say in this hypothetical, it's $100, right? I buy the S&P 500 for $100, and then I write a call contract with a strike price of $100. That's on the money, basically. And then I also set the expiration date for a month later. But like I said, I'm using the S&P 500 in this instance as my collateral, just in case. And it's smart because a call contract basically gives the person who buys the contract the right to buy the shares at the strike price from the person who wrote the contract. It's as simple as that. It's really fun. I love it. And then there's the DIV, which is the Global X Super Dividend ETF. I'm a fan of that one. I still hate the expense ratio for a lot of these ones, so I don't overpopulate them in my portfolio. I have them, but I don't overdo it. I only have them just because the derivative income, man, from these 1 month expiration call contracts is actually insane. So it's a win-win situation, in my opinion, to have covered call ETFs, because you don't have to do the strategy yourself. And, do they take a little off the top on the expense ratio? They sure do. It's one of my pet peeves with some of the covered call ones, which is why I own basically just a share of each one that I think is worthy of having in my portfolio. And I have a few. Not going to lie, I've got a few covered calls, actually. Let's see. So then we got smart beta and factor-based ETFs. Now, so we got the NOBL, which is the S&P 500 Dividend Aristocrats. It's very specific. So Dividend Aristocrat, I tend to forget what the meaning of each of these is. But I know it's basically, let me just look up, that term eludes me. Hold on. Dividend Aristocrats. It's basically a set class of dividend stocks that pay a dividend and grows the dividend and hasn't stopped paying it, basically. Okay, increase their dividends in each of the past years. Raise their dividends for more than 10 years in a row and have a minimum of 3-month average. Yeah, okay, so basically it's just ones that have raised their dividend. If they paid 10 cents last year this quarter and they pay 12 cents this year this quarter, then that's a raise of the dividend. They've raised it consecutively. So I sincerely appreciate a company that raises its dividends, but I also appreciate a company that is fiscally responsible and realizes when a dividend cut is needed. So I never fault a company if they're falling under some slight hard times and need to cut the dividend for the shareholders. That makes sense. As long as it's not a permanent cut, I'm cool with it. But yeah, NOBL, S&P 500 Dividend Aristocrats, really good one. So then we got the SPHQ, which is the S&P 500 quality ETF. We'll put that up here real quick. So this one is essentially, I need to put up a poll real quick. Hold on, I'm going to put up a poll. We'll say 11 to 20, and then let's keep this up real quick here. And then we'll say 21 to 40. And I'll add one more option, and then we'll say 41 or more. All right, so we got a poll going. I'm pole dancing. But yeah, overall S&P 500 quality ETFs. That's the SPHQ. I got that in my portfolio, which is nice. I think I own more than 41 individual ETFs. So I'm a rare one though. I just love owning multiple ETFs. I can't help myself. There's just so many good ones. So many different strategies, so many different portfolio theories. I kind of want to own it because every time you own an ETF, whether it's actively managed or just a simple index one, you are kind of adopting a portfolio theory into your portfolio. And I think a diversification of portfolio theories is really interesting, and I don't think it's as tested. I think it should be. I'm really a one of everything on the menu kind of investor. And that's kind of, well, it's not just kind of, that's exactly how I proceeded the entire time for the most part. And there's the USMV, and that's the iShares MSCI Min Volume USA. That's kind of one of those, like, I don't really know. Actually, that one's kind of a little elusive to me, but I'm going to list it on here anyway. And then there's the MTUM. We're kind of speed running this a little bit. And that's the iShares MSCI USA Momentum Factor. And then there's the Qual. We'll go over that here in just a second, but and here's the Qual. The iShares MSCI USA Quality Factor. That's one. Is this even live? Check it out, something real quick. All right, sorry about that, folks. I was making sure this is even still going. We got 2 views. Okay, we got more views, sort of, kind of. This is crazy, man. The lack of viewership is wild on this one. I mean, it's possible one of my other live videos is just going crazy. One of my previously recorded ones are from earlier. Let's take a look at the analytics. That's doing good. It's crazy how fast this show has grown. It really weirds me out sometimes. Well, go over just a few more. I think I'll stop going over those, but let's see here. I'll put please like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to us. There we go. It does. Honestly, every like, every subscribe, yeah, it does make a difference, shockingly. We'll talk about a few of the international emerging market ETFs. I'm just going to put them in a list here. We'll just kind of go over them in the chat real quick. If it lets me, I might have to cut it off a little bit. There we go. So VXUS, Vanguard Total International Stock ETF. We got the VWO, which is the Vanguard FTSE Emerging Markets. You know, basically what I'm trying to say for all these is they're all international based and emerging market based. So it's really handy to have these ETFs in your portfolio because, one, it spreads out your risk. You're not only going to be exposed to newer markets that are up and coming, but you're going to be exposed to the overall rest of the world, you know. And as much as I love the US and I love investing in US companies, man, it would be stupid of me not to be directly exposed in some way to international companies on a diversified level. I don't know what companies internationally are good ones, so I just choose to get into every single ETF that exposes me to each one. So makes life easier. I don't have to pay an arm and a leg to get the diversification I want, which is nice. Um, yeah, it's great. And then we have like thematic niche ETFs. You got like ARK, which is one of the worst. If we're gonna be not just brutally honest, like Kathy Wood is one of the worst grifter investors of all time. Like she is straight up just like she's the worst. But yeah, ARK Innovation, Kathy Wood's ETF, she's just bad. She is a grifter. She's a pump and dumper. She's bad. She's bad. Poor news. That's my opinion. It's just an opinion, not fact. So don't hold me to it. But IBLC is iShares Blockchain and Tech ETF. Honestly, would I really want that in my portfolio? I mean, I'd put it in there as long as the price per share isn't too bad. I'd buy a share. There's like UFO. It's like all space related companies. They're very thematic. I mean, you can get niche ETFs, I guess, if you really want to. I mean, that's up to you. It's interesting. I don't know how good any of those are. But then we have commodity and inflation hedges. So these are like GLD, which is a Spider Gold shares. I got that in one of my portfolio, in one of my brokerage accounts. Got the SLV, which is the iShares Silver Trust. Exposed you to silver. Invesco Agricultural Fund. You got this DBA. PDBC is Invesco Optimum Yield Diversified Commodity. And then GUNR is Flex Shares Global Upstream Natural Resources ETF. It's pretty sexy. And then, of course, there's inverse and bearish ETFs. My two favorite ones are the BIDI and the SBIT. SBIT is 2x inverse Bitcoin strategy ETF, and then there's BIDI, which is ProShares short Bitcoin strategy. I'm a big fan of SBIT because it's like you're going like 2 times. It's awesome. So now there are some experimental and weird ETFs that should get some note. Just a little bit of a notation here. So we got Buzz, which is BUZZ. That's a VanEck social sentiment ETF. That's an interesting idea. So basically, it sounds like it's probably some actively managed fund. And it basically invests into companies based on social sentiment. That's interesting. It's a fascinating theory. Don't know how effective it is, but maybe if you're short-term trading, short-term swing trading or something, there might be some advantages that I'm not aware of. Let's see. We got Mega, Point Bridge GOP stock tracker. That's funny. Oh, that's actually pretty funny when they have a Mega ETF. I did not know that. Y'all is a God-fearing anti-woke stock ETF, and then bad is betting on sin stocks, booze, alcohol, drugs. Honestly, bad ETF might outperform everybody because human beings tend to do things that are bad for you. So that might be on the right track, man. Anything that's addictive, it's kind of negative. People tend to get into it. Let's see. That's interesting. Well, I'm not too sure how I feel about all this. It's kind of cool. I will say, if there's one thing that I'm very comfortable betting against, it's Bitcoin. And the reason I'm so comfortable betting against it is I'm literally betting against strings of data. That's an easy one. That is probably one of the more easy things one can do. when it boils down to it. No, yeah. But yeah, I probably won't be on for too much longer tonight. I think I'm going to probably lay down, maybe put some articles out on the website on realgarza.com. Do some of those things. Trying to get more short videos out onto the page as well. It's pretty cool. Channel's growing. So is my wiener. And I love it. Let's see. Man, there's a lot of things going on. My boy Michael, one of the dudes I had met at the what do you call that thing? The anti-Trump thing. He was really cool. He was a really nice dude, and it was really fun to be able to talk to him. He texts me. I try to text back, but I get so busy I'm managing the website after work, managing the show, trying to get that all squared away. I have such a fun time doing this show, you guys. I really mean it. Like, one of the reasons I'm so addicted to doing the show is, one, I now have incentive to do it because, one, I get paid money, and but also I really do enjoy it, like, straight up. But I think human beings need to be incentivized. I don't want to do this thing absolutely free. I want to be able to make a little bit of money here and there doing this YouTube stuff, and it's important. Oh, yeah, I'm rubbing my leg. I have polysporin that I'm putting on my leg at the moment. I got a nasty spider bite or something. Something bit my ass, and I ended up picking at it. And then what happened was I picked at it and it pussed out. It's gross. I didn't expect that to happen. It was really weird, and yeah, but it's still a little red, but it's not as bad as it was. It's not like it's staying contained. Pretty neat. It's kind of rubbing it in there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, polysporin's pretty dope, man. This stuff comes in handy. It's neosporin, polysporin. It's just the same diff. But really comes in handy. Helps keep the old leg feeling decent. But yeah, if I do any delivery driving, I definitely cover that thing up with a bandage. It's gross. But it's looking better. It's feeling better, which is pretty nice. And yeah, it doesn't look like it's spreading too far. In fact, if anything, it looks like the redness is retracted, which is good. It's getting a little nervous for a bit. So, quick question if anybody wants to. There is a poll that we have running. How many different ETFs do you have in your portfolio? It's a quick question I got for you guys. How many do you got? Do you got under 10? Do you got 11 to 20, 21 to 40, or 41 or more? That's the question we must all ask. How many do you have? Well, I don't know if there's anything else I want to talk about. We kind of covered all the different ETFs out there. Oh, under 10. So we got a vote. We got one vote in under 10 different ETFs. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, I would say if I could vote on that poll, I would say 41 or more. I'm pretty sure I have way more than 41 though. Like I'm pretty sure I'm up in the 60, 70 range. I got a lot of different ETFs, man. Ranging from covered call ETFs, bond ETFs, sector stock ETFs, actively managed, passively indexed managed, you name it, man. I got them all. I got them all, and you don't know why. Why am I that kind of guy? Oh no. So my girlfriend said that she commented on the chat, but it disappeared. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. I bet it's there. No, it's not there. Darn it! But she saw me drinking the Sprite, and guilty as charged. I decided I was like, okay, I'll drink the ones out of the plastic bottles because she prefers the cans. Granted, understandable, she prefers the cans, and it makes sense to me. So I get the plastic ones. I drink the plastics. But yeah, I do need to. I'm gonna have to replenish here pretty soon on the canned ones. So I don't know if anybody's got any Safeways. Oh, okay, now I see her on here. I'm not alone. Thank you, baby. I appreciate the the comment. Yeah, I don't know what happens. Sometimes YouTube is weird, and sometimes they will. I think they use AI to block certain comments. So if there's a specific key phrase that you're using or something, it'll be really anal. And that's just the way the YouTube chatbot is sometimes. It's annoying. But yeah, I could see my girlfriend's chat on here. But yeah, I steal her plastic. I steal her Sprites. I mean, I'm the one who buys them for her. Granted, I buy these out of the goodness of my heart. I like Sprites though. That's the problem. We both love Sprite, so I do tend to steal. My girl said I had to back out and come back in. Watch where Tim is. Nice. Heck yeah. But yeah, overall, we're just going over the different ETFs that you can have in your portfolio. The one thing I was talking about earlier when I was doing a show at the park is that you don't have to pay a commission fee to add one share, right? It used to be back in the day, you had to pay a commission fee, whether you it was usually a flat commission fee, whether you bought one share of whatever or 100 shares of that whatever it may be. And nowadays, zero commission fees. So I could buy one share of this ETF, one share of that ETF. Oh, there's another ETF. I'm going to buy a share of that. I'm buying ETFs everywhere. And I get a dividend every day because I'm so spread out. I spread my cheeks and I fly away. But the point is, I get a dividend every day because of how spread out I am. But it's the smartest way to do it. Oh my goodness. Damn Sprite. I want to read this like Chris Hansen. My girlfriend says, damn Sprite thief. Ha ha ha. You know I'm joking. I need to start reading comments in Chris Hansen tone. I have the chat logs right here. Brittany V says, I had to back out and come back in, lol, LOL. I have been watching for about 10 minutes. It feels like it's a mixture between Chris Hansen and Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. I feel like I'm melding the two voices together. Not a good thing, by the way. But yeah, every time I read the comments, I swear to Christ, I sound like... I feel like I'm trying to sound like either Nick Cage or Pat Bateman, So I'm like, testing 1, 2, 3. Damn Sprite thief. You know I'm joking. Let's see Paul Allen's Sprite. But, overall, it's fun. But no, I love you, baby. But yes, I do love you, but I also I am guilty. But not of what you think. No, I'm just kidding. But no, Sprites, I will always steal your Sprites. But I will also always buy them for you. And I will try to make sure there are enough in the refrigerator at all times. But I do need to actually, what I think I should do, I might even do a late night Safeway run tonight. That'd be fun. Honestly, though, I am a little bit tired. I don't even know if I feel like... I don't even know if I feel like doing a Safeway run. I've still got plenty of Sprites. I could probably always do it tomorrow, though. But, yeah. That's the one thing, man. Always, if there's one rule I could say, always replenish. Always replenish. Also, Sprite is awesome. By the way, I love Sprites. That should be one of the affiliate links in my description, by the way. I need to put Sprites in my in my YouTube descriptions for each of my bloody videos. My bloody videos. But overall, yeah, we talked about a bunch of ETFs and what are the good ones to have in your portfolio. And really, there's no limit to how much you could diversify. Now, my mentors, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, do say, there's no point in diversifying when you know what you're doing. And they're right, but they also don't know the future. As much as I would love to concentrate most of my wealth into Coca-Cola stock, what if that company did go under because, maybe Gen Z starts running it into the ground? Maybe they hire a Gen Z CEO, doesn't know what they're doing. They go off the formula, that sort of thing. So it's good to be diversified in the sense that even though you have a great idea of how the company is and what it's doing, you never know when an imbecile is going to run it. Maybe even fuck it a little bit, so it's good to make sure, that you're constantly spreading out your risk because you are ignorant to the future. You are ignorant, even though you're a long-term investor, you believe in the company. If there's any sort of risk, the best way to mitigate risk is to spread out the risk. And you know what? Coca-Cola will probably be around for a long time. It's a great company. It's one of my favorite companies. I use it as an example all the time as one of the best stocks that anybody could own. It has a wide product pipeline. That's a big plus to me. Any sort of firm, any sort of company that has a wide product pipeline and knows when to keep a product or when to get rid of it, Coca-Cola is great at that. They're as great as they are about buying brands and stuff like that. They're also good about getting rid of them if they're shit. My girlfriend says I've got lemonades to last through the weekend. I love it. I love it. I love it. Don't worry, baby. You still got Sprites, though, just to let you know. You still got Sprites. I will say that whenever I run out, though, I do try to make sure I rack up on a bunch of them. I got to keep an eye on Safeway. I got to get that Safeway app again. I can't remember if I still have the Safeway app on my phone or not. I'll have to double check that, but well, let's see. So let's see. We got one vote that says under 10. Yeah, under 10 ETFs. Yeah, and the thing is, like I said, I own like at the bare minimum. I probably, and this is a guess because I haven't counted out how many ETFs I own, but I also own a lot of individual stocks too. So it's not just ETFs that I own. I own at least like one share of a lot of different REITs, one share of a lot of different companies that are typically from the S&P 500. You name it, man. I'm pretty safe with my portfolio. But if I do want to expose myself to small cap or medium cap, middle cap companies, I do tend to get those types of ETFs that allow me that exposure. So it depends. But yeah, I think it's fun to have multiple ETFs in your portfolio. I like the fact that I get paid a dividend at different times, and each index has different weighting structures as well. Not all indexes have the same weighting structures. But oh, good night, sweetheart. I love you. Mwah. I love you a lot, baby. Have a good night. And I should probably, well, it's actually still pretty early for me. I'm probably gonna stay up a little longer. Might read a book or something like that. I'm just a tired boy. I'm a tired man. I'm a bloody man-child. I think. Oh, lordy. Well, I think I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about at the moment, but I already talked a lot when I was at the park, and I think I've talked enough. I've talked everybody's ear off on this episode, so. I also ate in front of everybody. I did a mukbang, which was pretty dope. And I ate 2 burgers and one Hot Pocket. I also want to show you guys something kind of cool that I bought when I was at Grocery Outlet yesterday. I'm going to pop it up. So I got myself a food container. Look at this. So this is I only got this for like $4 at Grocery Outlet. Really good deal. There's 3 of them. This is the biggest one out of all of them. But yeah, you can use them as food containers. I don't really know what I'll use a smaller one for. I might use that for like, I don't know, little sauces and stuff. Depends on what I'm feeling. But yeah, overall, as you can see, I got my 2 cheeseburgers and my Hot Pocket in here. This will be my meal for tomorrow, and it's going to be pretty cool. And I could even, if I wanted to, check this out, I can suck the air out. So this, I think it will, I don't know if it'll vacuum seal it by any means, but if you put it over, it's got this, and I think, hold on, that, oh, that was already in, okay. And I think it stays fairly well, so it looks like it straps in. Now, there's a little hole right here. Now, if I want to vacuum seal it, that might be a possibility. Check this out. I was trying to suck on it, but I don't think I can get my lips around the hole. Okay, maybe that doesn't work as well as I think it does. But anyway, this should keep it fairly fresh. And hold on. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm trying to. Yeah, I mean these are still a little steamy, but it's nice though to have. It's nice to have a good food container because I didn't really have anything. I just have my Ziploc bags. I thought, well, I want to use my Ziploc bags for, other things that I want to freeze, or maybe on picnic trips or something, or camping. I definitely want to bring them camping for sure, but um, yeah, overall this is fantastic. Uh, but yeah, fits it all nice and tight. Should keep it all pretty preserved, and it's a lot easier than just putting it in a flimsy Ziploc container. But yeah, these are really durable, by the way. So when I saw these over at Grocery Outlet, I was really excited because normally something like this, these particular ones, they usually go for about $10 is what it said. I was able to get these for $4, so really good deal, fantastic deal, and it looks like a pretty good brand. So it's a winning combination. I think it's not a very pretty color. Look, it's kind of a weird green, so that's probably one of the reasons why it sold for cheap. Nobody bought them, so Grocery Outlet got them. Yeah, Grocery Outlet's the best, man. The one thing I could say, I'm the biggest Grocery Outlet shill there is out here, and we're getting one in North Bend, which is really dope, and I'll probably live over there. But yeah, no, this container right here is pretty dope. We have my biological stepson. I put some food in this Tupperware container. Here, eat the food. Get back in the basement. All right. Get back in the basement. All right. I didn't tell you could leave the basement. All right. I'm doing the crazy eyes right now. I'm doing the crazy eyes. All right. That boy ain't right. But my boy Tylord, my biological stepson, is consistently leaving the confines of either the trunk or the basement, or look, you do what you're told, all right? So Tylord says, no, I'm free and I'm covered in baby oil. Let's see. Bodangle says, but my chain broke. Oh my god, no. And well, look, I know Ants needs to be covered in baby oil. My boy Antoine definitely needs to be covered in baby oil. Tylord needs to be covered in baby oil. We do need to have a informal freak off. Oh my god, I forgot. I was gonna do baby oil basketball, where I cover my basketball up with baby oil. What do you guys think? Do you guys think I should get that baby oil? Get that shit? I think so. I'm gonna put this in the fridge real quick. It's not, like I said, nice to have like really good containers. I'm gonna just make sure I fight you guys. My boobs. But yeah, I definitely want to do baby oil basketball, where I just lather the basketball up with baby oil, and see if I can play as well as I normally would with a baby oil covered basketball. And I'd film it. I'd do a live stream. Don't know where I would do the live stream at. Maybe probably Mingus Park. And that'd be fun. Sure you guys would appreciate it. Meet the Fokker style. But I will say this, though. I am a little bit tired, boys. I am going to lay down. Today was just kind of a long day. Oh, let's see. We got 33% of you were saying 21 to 40 ETFs are in your portfolio. And then 67% of you were saying under 10 ETFs exist in your portfolio. Hell yeah. Not bad. It's a good quantity. But hey, you guys, yeah, did a show earlier, but tired as hell. Catch you all later. Anyway, catch you later, Mr. Tylord. Later, Mr. Bodangles. I'm going to probably lay down and read a book.